What's up, mortgage coach community? Dave Savage sitting down with Dale Vermillion, and I am extremely excited about this conversation and something special that our organizations have done together. Guys, it's a wild market. I've been doing this for 36 years. Dale, how many years have you been serving mortgage and housing?
It'll be 40 as in 2023, so 39 years.
Yeah, and it's not often I find people that have more tenure than I do, but we have both seen some cycles. And, this is definitely not the worst, like a 2008, 2009, when, it was just all bad. How do we survive this storm? Like, let's get in a cave and hide out and not die. There's a lot of opportunity in the market. So it's different, but it is a market where, the market share leaders of the future are all being made in this market right now. Like the loan officers that are doing the right things are really the leaders of the future. The lenders that are doing the right things, investing in skills, investing in tech are going to do it. So Dale, how would you consider this year versus other years that you've been in the space, and how tough it is and the opportunity at hand?
Well, it is definitely the most unique market that we've seen in the 40 years I've been in the business, simply because we've never seen rates rise this fast. We've never seen the market change, the economy be quite the way it is. But having said all of that, look, you got to have confidence when you go into this kind of a market. And I truly believe what you said earlier, Dave, is true. This is one of the most opportunistic markets that we've seen in a long, long time for those who take the right approach to the marketplace. That's the key to all of it, is being different from your competition. I wore my Dr. Pepper t-shirt today for a reason. Dr. Pepper is the most unique soda out there. It was the first soda ever created. 23 flavors nobody knows except for the scientist under lock and key. And you know what? They've stayed around a long time because they're different. And that's the key, is you got to be different in this marketplace. You got to do the things you used to do years ago when you first developed your network and did your referrals. You got to get back to a lot of fundamentals. And you said it well a moment ago, Dave. You got to make sure you've got your skills honed and you're working on educating yourself. You got great tech. You've got great knowledge. If you do those things, you can really steal the market, because what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing haves and have-nots. I'm seeing loan officers who are crushing it right now, doing better than last year because they own their marketplace. And I'm seeing loan officers having a really tough time because they're still trying to sell like they did in 2020 and 2021. You got to shift your approach to the marketplace. And if you do, you can take a lot of business. People are going to keep buying no matter what rates are, and people are going to keep needing cash and liquidity and payment reduction no matter what the economy does. In fact, the worse the economy gets, the more the mortgage industry becomes important.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I've been thinking a lot about leadership lately, because I'm going to be doing a presentation, a keynote at Sales Mastery, which is going to be big. Tomorrow, I'm on stage at Housing Wire, where Alex and I are delivering a keynote. And then the next day, I'm doing this just leadership lessons I've learned in 36 years in the mortgage industry. And so I've put a lot of thought into things that I think will help you guys be successful. And then Dale and I are going to announce something. So don't leave this call, because while you're going to get takeaways, you're going to get value. We're going to share something very unique, very special that I promise you, it's skill building. And I think there's a lot of, I create a lot of great content. There's a lot of great content on online, but I don't think everything actually creates new skills. And I actually don't think there's a lot of content that goes from skills to habits. And that's what we're here about. So we call this Meet the Market, is the name of today's conversation. So Dale, before we kind of lay out the framework for some of the thoughts you and I have around meeting the market, if there was a new loan officer that was watching this, I didn't introduce you with a bio because I feel like everybody in the mortgage coach community, everybody knows who Dale Vermillion is. But if there was a new loan officer, which, by the way, Dale, I guarantee you there's multiple, maybe dozens of new loan officers watching this. Just give us a minute on yourself for these guys and gals.
Well, look, the only thing that the audience wants to know is I started in the business in 1983 as a loan officer off the street that had no experience like many of you. and learned the business from the ground up. And for the 12 years I spent in the industry, I was a branch manager, I was a loan officer, then a branch manager, district manager, regional vice president, and ran a national mortgage company. So I went from running, 5 loan officers to 900 and everything in between. So my experience is all the business. For the last 40 years, in 1995, I started as a trainer and consultant, and I've been able to train over 1 million mortgage professionals over my career, over 650 mortgage companies, and have just had a chance to see what the best of the best do. And what we teach at Mortgage Champions is just that. What do the top producers in the nation do to make them top producers? The same things you focus on in your sessions all the time at Mortgage Coach when you do these web-based sessions, Dave. So we're about the same thing, and that is understanding how to attack the market when it shifts and be successful. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Love that. And for me, guys, I'll put a little bit of a nuance on Dale. I met Dale, I can't remember what year it was, but it was before the meltdown. It was probably 1980 or 1998, maybe, or 90,
Probably.
yeah, 98, 99. And Dale has a lot of experience in selling consumer direct loan officers. And so what does that mean? That means he knows how to get attention quickly. He knows how to create trust quickly and do it at scale. Now, Dale also has a tremendous amount of experience of training local referral-based loan officers. But one of the things that makes him unique is he's got a lot of experience in both of those. A lot of the trainers in the industry have really built their whole careers on local referral-based professional. Dale knows both and is really merging best practices from both to bring what we're going to bring to you here today. So Dale, let's do this. What if you had kind of a narrative to paint, and I want to make sure we get tactical. Like, I don't want to just spin this whole call high level. Like, I even want folks to get some, trust building content and scripts in this conversation. But what's the problem with most loan officers in the market right now? And then let's talk about what are some of the things and the habits they need to have in this market.
I would say there's 3 major mistakes that are happening right now. Number one is people are still selling with the old mindset from the previous market. You can't do that, period. I mentioned that earlier. I'm going to mention it again. That'll kill you all day long in this marketplace, because 2020 and 2021 were volume markets. This is a conversion market. And the more rates go up, remember, what is always the quid pro quo? As rates go up, activity at the consumer level goes down. So you got to augment that and offset that by being proactive. You got to go out and you got to get it done. You got to outbound call. You've got to prospect more for real estate partners and referral partners and sources of business. And you've got to really put in a different approach than you did in 2020. I think the second thing is that too many loan officers are focused on rate still. Like, you can't. This is a market where you got to talk value. What are you doing for the customer? What's the end result of the transaction? If you can get them in a home, no matter what the rates are, that they can afford and it gives them home ownership, that's way better than the alternative. So you got to focus on how you can help people to change their life financially in this marketplace. And that you can do both with refis and purchases if you're doing it right. And I think the third thing is we've lost the importance of relationship. There's too much throwing links out to borrowers, texting and emailing, not having quality conversations, and really being advisors like we talk about all the time. And I know that's something near and dear to your heart, Dave, that is absolutely critical. I think those are the 3 major mistakes that people are making, is not adapting into the market, not building enough relationship, and not really focusing on value, but focusing on price and product. You're going to lose all day long if you do those things.
I want to make sure I got the quote right, because I was, by the way, I was typing. Anybody can hear me or see me typing. I was typing notes because I want to make sure that we really bring this to life. I think you said last year was a volume market. Today it's a conversion market. Did I get that right?
You got it right. And
guys, I've said this from stages before. This was part of the halftime report that I did with Kristen Messerly. But are you measuring a conversion? If you're a leader or a manager, do you know rank and file who's got the best conversion, who's got the worst conversion? And so unless you're doing that, and you as an individual contributor are measuring your conversion, and oh, I know what it is for my realtor referrals, I know what it is for my social media, I know what it is for my past customers. Even delineate the difference where when you get a referral from someone that's in process,
Yep.
like that's a current customer referral. Like you should CCR. Like if you don't know what your conversion is on your CCRs, then you don't get what Dale just said. So,
Yep.
and managers on this, it's easier than you think. It's credit report, it's loan. Like what's our conversion on credit reports to loan? Now, obviously the real story is conversations to loans, but I realize a lot of you on this call, you run distributed sales teams and you're not going to be able to conversation versus app, but you can credit report to app. So Dale, before I start kind of drilling down on those three, anything else you want to add to that?
Well, you said something a moment ago that's really important. That is, you do need to know your conversation app. And if you don't know that, you better figure out how to get that pretty quickly. Even if you work out of a cell phone world, you can still track what your conversations are. If it means setting up a separate phone number or having a separate phone for your business from your personal, so you divide those two, which you should do anyway, and you can keep a record on those calls you're getting, it's really important. If you're only looking at all-in conversion, you're missing half of the equation. You got to know how many of the referrals or the leads you get you convert into an actual conversation. That's critical because that tells you how well you're doing in the opening of that conversation with that customer. And then you got to know when you get that conversation, how many of those do you get a credit pull on? And then you need to know how many of those credit pulls turn into an actual bona fide deal. It's a three-stage process of understanding conversions, not just an all-in number, because the all-in number doesn't tell you the story. Those three levels tell you the story.
Okay, and no debate. I just know for distributed retail, like head of production with 100 loan officers that they're not all using the CRM. They may not be able to get all three phases of those. They could get at least one. One more question before we move on. You talked about relationships, and I've always believed that a loan officer's past customer database, and forget about past customer database, their database, like all the referrals they worked with, all the turn downs that they had. And if you're really playing this game right, you are so good at database as a mortgage professional, and you've got tools like Mortgage Coach, Sales Boomerang, HomeBot. You've got platforms that realtors want to give you their database. But what are the top metrics that you want to push loan officers and leaders listening to this to make sure they're measuring? Like, what are the bare minimum Dale Vermillion metrics for executing on relationships?
Well, look, here's the deal. First off, the very first thing you need to understand in this marketplace is time is of the absolute essence. There was a study done this year by an organization on the mortgage industry, and here's what they found. They found that according to the study, 92% of borrowers will end up buying from either the first or second lender they talk to, 74% of them from the first lender. Now, that's huge. If there's truth to that study, and that study was done by a vast audience that they worked with, what that tells us is you had better work fast on your opportunities. I see a lot of times, particularly in the distributed retail world, where we'll get a referral and we don't call them till this afternoon. We need to call them within a minute, just like we would if we got a consumer direct lead. We know in the consumer direct world, it's all about time. Velocify did a study years ago and said that if you call within the first minute, you have a 251% better chance of success of converting. If you wait till 30 minutes, it drops to 140%. And if you wait for literally 12 hours, it's zero. You don't have any better chance of converting that lead. So speed is number one. Number two, here's the key. Call every day consistently a little bit versus all at once and do a lot. And what I mean by that is we tend to say, you know what? Oh man, my pipeline's kind of low, so I'm going to pound my database today. Well, how effective are you after 47 minutes of dialing and smiling? You're not that effective. If instead of that, every day, you're 20 minutes a day, you're going to just do outbound calling to my database. I'm going to hit turn downs. I'm going to hit cancellations. I'm going to hit past customers. I'm going to ask them for not just a loan or an opportunity for loan, but a referral while I'm at that. And then I'm going to do 20 more minutes each day of prospecting referral partners. So I'm dedicating 40 minutes a day for nothing but outbound activities every single day. The beauty of that is it's consistent. You never wear out on it. You're always motivated, so you have better conversion rates. And the best part about that is you're getting very good at your pitch because you're doing it day after day after day. There's no rust on that bucket. You are absolutely killing it all the time.
I love this. And hey, we do have a nice little audience on Facebook Live. What's up, Brett Miller at Success Mortgage Partners?
Hey, Brett.
Your brother. And Jake Vermillion. What's up, Jake? We're going to talk a little bit about Jake in about 15, 20 minutes. And Jake, if you're on this and you want to share any links, give some value later on, when Dale and I are talking about stuff, feel free to jump in. And guys, if you're watching this, this is valuable. Like if you're a new loan officer or you want to optimize this market, you want to meet the market where it's at, you got Dale Vermillion on. Like ask us a question, we'll dive in and answer it. So Dale, one more question before we really start drilling down on tactics and best practices. I think the best loan officers that are building sustainable businesses and that are really going to kill the future, they're measuring conversion so that front end,
Yep.
They're optimizing. And then I also think they're consistently measuring their past customer pull-through rate. And I think they could do it monthly. I did an interview with Carl White a few weeks ago. He said like 1 to 2% per month. And hey, Carl, all respect to, I think in this market is hard, but 1%, like if you got 1,000 people in your past customer database, there should be 10. Like if you're a loan officer and you're watching this, you got 100 people in your database, it should be 1% per month. You don't have to wait till the end of the year. You don't have to wait. You can be measuring it every month. And so first of all, do you align on at least 1% of the loans that you close should come from your database? And even in this market, loan officers could be hitting a 1% monthly past customer pull-through rate.
Yeah, I think that's a bare minimum. Yeah, I think you can do better than that.
Carl, the 1 to 2%.
Yeah,
1 to 2.
I am in agreement with that. So I think that's very doable.
Okay, so any other, like if there were the 2 top metrics, measuring conversion, measuring monthly past customer pull-through rate, I'm going to say those are the 2 single most important metrics to benchmark yourself as a salesperson. If I was going to throw a third one in, it would be how profitable you are. Like if you're not in the top 20% in your company in terms of the amount of basis points you're costing, like to me, that's a sales score. Like if you're in the bottom 50%, then you know what, you're selling rates and you're not selling value. So to me, those are the 3 metrics of health. Any debate with that or anything you want to add to that?
No debate with that. But look, I'm a very simplistic minded guy when it comes to sales. And I've always advocated a very simple mindset. And it's this: all you need is 1 sale a day to close 15 loans a month. If you get 1 customer a day to agree to give you an application, give you their documentation, and commit to moving forward, you're putting 21 deals a month in your pipeline. Now, you might say, well, in this tough market, is that possible? Of course it is. The question is, do you believe in it? And then what are you doing to make it happen? So when we talk about conversion rates, and I could give you tons of data on conversion rates, Dave, the problem is they're all over the place depending on what you're using as your lead source. So if you're past customers, that's a much higher conversion rate than, for example, maybe, customers that you just had canceled or you talked to and never did anything with. If you have turn downs, that's a different conversion rate. If you have referrals, that's a different conversion rate. Here's what it comes down to. It's your activities and actions that matter, okay? If you're going through the paces in this marketplace of doing the right things each day, you're prospect calling every day. And let me say something about prospect calling for a minute. This is really important. One of the big mistakes I see today that loan officers are making in the distributed retail is they're going into this marketplace with the same referral sources they had in 2021 and thinking they're going to get the same numbers. Hate to tell you this, your realtor's business is cut in half just like yours is. So if that's the case, you got to have twice as many realtors in this marketplace to get anywhere close to where you were last year in the numbers you created. So what I'm advocating to loan officers is you got to create 4 times the referral network you had in 2021 to protect yourself in this marketplace. What does that mean? You got to be out on the street. You got to be making prospect calls daily, and you got to be advocating the right actions and attitudes and behaviors. It's all about doing the right things. So you can focus on your conversion and analyze that. But if you can't, here's the simplistic way to approach it. I have got to do the things today that will get me at least 1 or 2 or 3 people that I can talk to. That's my goal. 3 customers I can talk to in a day, because 1 won't qualify, 1 may turn you down, and the 3rd one will probably say yes to you. And that will ensure your sale a day. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater and go, it's a high rate market, so there's no business. The purchase market still has plenty of business in it. You just got to steal from your competition by being better than them. That's really what it comes down to. And if you do that, you're going to win. Oh, you cut out there, Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to share a tactic that I learned from Dale 20 years ago when he came in and did some training in a company I led at the time. And then Dale, I want to start, okay, I'm going to add a tactic. It's my tactic, but I learned it from you 20 years ago. And I'm going to kind of add on to it a little bit. So one of the things that I learned from Dale early on was just the importance of coming in, and when you start your prospecting, it wasn't a new idea like to win by noon and to get your prospecting done by 9 or 10. I knew that idea, but Dale told me that story in a way that stuck, that I executed better. But what I didn't do, but I did after I talked to Dale, is make sure you stack your leads. Like be intentional. Like that first lead was, and I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like, they got to have credit and equity, like the 3 things that are required in a, fundable loan. There's about 3 things, but if they have 2, that's a good deal. And then the 3rd thing is they can't be an energy sucker. I kind of wrote it down. They have to be cool. So that you come in with your DAX stack, you're calling fundable prospects to the best of your ability that are cool. And then you kind of work your lead funnel back from that. Now, the only add-on to that in today's world, we didn't have sales boomerang, borrower intelligence leads at that time, but I've been interviewing a lot of top loan officers that they're calling their alerts by 9, like between 8 and 9.
Good.
Whatever the signals are in your database, like guys, you want to be speed to lead when it comes to alerts and signals in your database that could be good customer conversations. It could be convertible. So those are the 3 things that I'm going to push with a little add-on. And then I want you to give a tactic. We'll kind of go back and forth on tactics. But first of all, any edits to that? And what are your thoughts on customer calls by 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, look, my saying has always been the same for 30 years. Sell early, sell often. That's what you need to do. And, the story that I always share with people, and this is true. When you worked for me when I was a manager, and I was a manager for 11 years, if you checked your email before 11 o'clock, I fired you on the spot. People would be like, what? That seems ridiculous. Why would you do that? I go, well, first off, they knew it when I hired them. And the reason I would do that is because email is nothing but bad news. And that's the mistake we make. We start our day by digging into our emails to see what's going on. And you know what? We get all this bad news in there and it derails us before the day ever starts. And now these good leads that are there, we don't get to them because we're too busy putting out fires. And we might not get done with the fires till 3 o'clock. And by then that customer's cold now because we missed the opportunity in the window. I used to tell my loan officers, check your emails at the end of the day, the prior day, to set up your morning for the next morning. Come in and hit the phones for 2 hours. Prospect calls to your database, calls to those good leads, stack your leads in a priority basis from the best lead down to the worst lead. And you base that on the amount of equity they have, the amount of debt they have, the amount of opportunity they have, how hot they are, when you got the referrals, and you take the best ones first because you're trying to create momentum. And momentum happens by putting yourself in front of the best, most sellable leads first. Because what happens is you sell that deal, man, now you're unstoppable. And the next one, which is a little tougher, you're a little stronger and you're that much better. It really is a process of planning your mornings, prioritizing your opportunities, and then just selling that first couple of hours. And you know what? Don't worry about the other stuff. It'll still be there at 11 o'clock when you check your emails. I promise you that. It can wait. And if you need to even tell people, I don't start to 11, they don't need to know the difference. Give yourself that window to build your sales. It'll really change your business dramatically.
So guys, we could just stop this conversation now. And I'm telling you, if you measured the things that Dale talked about at the front on your conversion, you measured your monthly pull-through rate, you stacked your day the way we just talked about, you sell early, you sell often, you do that 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. And if you really want to kill it 4 hours a day, you will thrive in this market and you will be positioning yourself to gain market share. So let's get a little more tactical. And I want to get to, some of the ways that we're going to help people build skills. But I'm Mr. Mortgage Coach and Mr. Sales Boomerang, but I feel like we are selling umbrellas in a rainstorm. The idea that we're helping a loan officer optimize all the signals and leads within their database so that they can be at the right place at the right time. And the fact that we're delivering this, this conversion platform. If you could just speak to, I'm not looking for a testimonial, I'm more looking for like a sales training where you tell people why using Boomerang, calling on your alerts, using Mortgage Coaches, you could just, from a sales manager's perspective, share your version of that and why we're more important now than ever.
Well, it is more important now than ever, and that is a testimonial. And here's the reason why. I'm gonna go back to something I said earlier. Okay, every time rates go up, this is my 7th rising rate market in my career. This is not the first time I've done this. And by the way, something for you to know about my background. So 1983 to 1995, the 12 years I was in the business, I never ran a sales force in my career where we cut a borrower's rate one time. We were a consumer finance company. You probably don't even know what that is unless you've been around 30 or 40 years. We were the high rate lenders. Nobody was higher than us. And yet I had loan officers closing 25 loans a month doing that, raising people's rates all day long. So when I see these rates go up, it doesn't scare me a bit. Here's the bottom line. I said earlier, there's a quid pro quo when rates raise. The quid pro quo is activity drops at the consumer level. Consumers wake up, they see the news, they hear about the Fed's going to raise rates again. They think that automatically means mortgage rates are going up by whatever the Fed raises it by, even though that's not exactly what happens. And they start to say, you know what, these rates are too high, I'm not interested. So they don't go out and start to do what they normally do. They don't go and start applying or calling lenders or going on Lending Tree or any of these kinds of things. So you got to go get them either through referral sources, because they will talk to a realtor about buying a house, or through, outbound calling your database. The bottom line is you've got to go get them in this marketplace is what has to happen. So having said that, because rates are going up, instead of being concerned about those rates going up, what you've got to do is you've got to attack that market and you've got to talk to that customer about how you can help them to succeed in the marketplace, how you can help them to get where they want to be in the marketplace. And if you do that, you're going to win in a big, big way. The bottom line is it's a proactive approach that you have to take in this marketplace today. And look, the sales boomerang alerts and Mortgage Coach, the total cost analysis you can create for them, these two become critical tools in this process. And here's the reason why. If a borrower you get an alert from a borrower today who is in your database that they have taken a credit pull with another mortgage company, what does that tell you? They're looking for something. You know what else it tells you? It tells you that they're obviously comfortable with where the rates are at today. Consumers know what rates are. If they're in the market, what they're telling you is that's not their primary concern. I hear loan officers, Dave, every day go, oh, well, these rates. I go, well, wait a minute. If the customer's talking to you about a mortgage, doesn't that tell you they may be all right with these rates? They see them. They know them. They can go on bank rate just like you can. So why are you worried about it if they're not worried about it? Well, they say, what's your rate? Of course they do. They all do. That's the first question everybody asks. But what they're really doing in applying somewhere is saying, I got a need. Whether that's a refinance need, whether that's a cash need, or whether that's a buy a home need, they've got a need. You got to figure out what that need is. And the best way to do that is to go outbound, be proactive, utilize your alerts, utilize your TCAs so that you're really bringing advice to the borrowers that's unique and different. And you're going and getting them because they're not necessarily coming to you. You're offsetting the drop in the volume and the drop in the referrals by creating a protective device that keeps you in tune with where your audience is at. It's just that simple.
So here's how we're going to help you like we've never helped you before on a Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. We've given huge value, we've given tactics, we've given strategies. I know for a fact that Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang are more valuable than they've ever been in this market. And by the way, our results speak for it. You know, we closed the quarter on Friday. We added more new lenders, nor new logos to Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang than either company individually had ever done in history. Wow. So yeah, no, super proud of it. Now I will tell you, our new CEO, Rich Harris, he drove goals like, you know, like the teamwork that came up. It did let me, it was a reminder of just what a great leader can do. You know, I consider myself a great leader. I think Alex is a great leader, and, you know, we've got us to where we're at. Rich really drove the team hard, and guys, but we did. We had a spectacular Q3 and brought in a lot of new business guys. But what does that mean? That just means that they wanted the technology. And here's what I've learned over the course of my career. Just because you have Mortgage Coach, and just because you have Sales Boomerang, doesn't mean you have a competitive advantage in the marketplace. And even I tell it in the sales process to lenders, you know, just because you bought an enterprise package of Mortgage Coach and all your loan officers have it, it's not a competitive advantage. You know, it's a competitive advantage. It's how you use that technology. And for all the leaders, whether you're a branch manager or regional or a head of production, what's a competitive advantage is when you institutionalize advice, when you institutionalize putting your customer database first, and you build an organization that has habits and they have skills. And you know what? That can't not be done on a YouTube channel. That can only be done through a thoughtful courseware that's designed, that's thought through, that has testing. And so I'm really excited to announce that Dale Vermillion and his team, Mortgage Champions, they created a champion-worthy platform that's super affordable. We'll tell you what the price is. We'll show you a link to it. But Dale, before we kind of unveil this and you and I walk through what we're bringing to the market together, just describe your why. Like, because I don't remember if it was my idea, your idea, Alex's idea, but I do know you took it very seriously. You know, you put your team around it, you prioritized it as an organization. What was your why for you and your team building this platform? And then let's get into exactly what we did.
Well, look, I've been a part of this mortgage community for almost 40 years. This is my life and my career, and I love the people in it, and I want to see people thrive and survive. And therefore, part of the why was really to work alongside you guys and the great tools that you've provided through both Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang to give people the knowledge that they need to win in this marketplace. We're uniquely positioned for that at Mortgage Champions because that's where we came from. And everything we teach is based on best practices of over 1 million loan officers over a 40-year career. So our why was really simple. It was to bring something to the marketplace to meet the market where it's at instead of hoping the market's going to change, and really focus on providing techniques and strategies, not motivation, strategies on how to really succeed in this marketplace, how to be able to really help your customers understand the value that is out there in this marketplace, that there's still plenty of opportunities to own homes and refinance and save money and get in a much better financial position, and to help mortgage professionals to succeed and take care of their families and take care of themselves. We care about people at the end of the day. And that really was the why behind it. Not only that, but I've worked with you and Alex for a long time, and love you guys as people and human beings, and love what you guys have done. And we felt it was a good time to come alongside and help provide something that could help your audience to be successful. So there was a whole lot of reasons for it that went into it.
Well, I like to tell you is we appreciate it. I want to make sure as many mortgage coach and sales boomerangers out there as possible get access to this, guys. So I'll roll out the price in a minute. I do want to show it on the screen. I did share a link to it in our Facebook group, and if you're watching this in our YouTube channel, there'll be a link. So exactly what I'm showing you online, you can check out. Again, guys, this is first to market, so we will continue to evolve it. But the name of it is Meet the Market in 2022 and beyond. And that was something that was important to me. If Alex and I were going to spend time on this, if we were going to have our marketing team and our salespeople, this is not our product. This is Dale's product, but it was a collaboration. But if we were gonna like spend resources in this market, it had to be amazing, and it had to be more than just ideas and content. Like it had to be much more than that. So Dale, what, as you would describe this, because you really built like a beautiful piece of digital training content,
Yep.
and what is your philosophy? And tell us just a little bit about how you guys create online courseware and what this thing is. And then I'll, if you do want me to drag my mouse around and show anything, I'm happy to do that. Like I said, I have put a link down below, but if you could just kind of describe it at a high level, what did you guys do here?
Well, what we created was a series of short, hard-hitting modules that are built in a systematic process to help you understand, first off, where today's market is at and how it's different from previous markets, how you need to attack it today differently because of that. Look, you can't overcome what you don't understand. So the first thing is I'm going to give you advice and help you understand what has changed in the market and how you need to attack and approach that to be confident, to be successful. And then the rest of it is just teaching you strategies on how to build great value propositions to overcome rate resistance and all of the rate challenges and objections to today's market, how to create relationship with your customers and your partners that's beyond anything your competition's building, and how to create differentiation. And that includes how to really take your different types of sales boomerang alerts, how to convert those properly, how to treat each one differently and unique. It's really about mastering the different kinds of alerts and understanding the power of those, and how to really have a great call cadence, great delivery, great scripting to really convert those at a much higher level. And then how to bring the Mortgage Coach product and the TCA and the back end side in to help really utilize that to create great advice options and scenarios for borrowers so you win. So it really just takes the tools that you guys are using, and it teaches you how to really apply those on a day-to-day basis and how to change your game to today's market, to meet the needs of the market, to beat your competition, and to win in a big way.
I love it. So I just want to walk you guys through it. You're looking, like I said, I put links to where you can get to this, but notice that, it is 30 lessons, micro lessons, a total of 3.5 hours of video content. Now I think it's super important that as loan officers go through this, you don't just watch it and do 3.5 hours. I think for every hour in the system, there's an hour of practice, so I want to push everybody, just double it. And I'll see what Dale recommend, like learn something, do something. And the more you see, do, and you circle around that, the faster you create skills. For all you managers, I recommend that you sign up your whole branch and go through a course. And everybody needs their own login. So again, the price is $4.99. We may have some type of discounts for bulk sales. This is brand new to the market. We're going to put it out there at this price. It's a very competitive price, but there's a couple sessions that you can actually free preview, because we just wanted you to see the quality of the content that you went through. But here it is: brace for the shift, customer expectations, partner expectation, test your knowledge of the environment. So literally just walking you through and making you self-audit where you're at. Foundations, these are the, triangle for success. By the way, Dale, interrupt me anytime if you want to add some color to any of these. Dealing with rate, guys. I mean, like that one nugget is you as a manager. if you study that yourself, you trained around that, in my opinion, you will have ROI on this event. Like just being able to make the shift culturally with your branch from we're selling rates and fees to we're selling strategies and financial freedom to consumers. We're helping consumers achieve what they really want. Sales communication. Hey guys, look at this. A whole chapter. And if you're going through the website, just want to make sure you realize the menu here, that little plus sign up and down, shows you all the different conversions, super tactical. Dale, could you just describe what you put here in terms of the scripts, some of the intention, and also the length of the different sessions? What's the shortest, what's the longest micro lessons here?
Yeah, probably the shortest is 3.5 or 4 minutes, and probably the longest is maybe 15. We might have one that's a little bit lengthier because it's deeper content we had to go into. Nothing's longer than that, and it's really built on understanding how to capture people's attention very quickly. In a marketplace like today, you got to say something different. You can't just call people up and say, hey, I'm calling about a refinance. Refinance is a swear word to a consumer today. They're going to hang up on you before you get another word out because they're thinking, why would I want to refinance? I got a 3% rate. Rates are like 7 right now. They're not going to listen to that. You've got to have the right terminologies. You got to understand call cadence. You got to understand, how to really maneuver a call effectively and how to be able to respond immediately to those objections and concerns that borrowers have today and give them a value prop that says, wait, believe it or not, I can save you a ton of money today in a lot of cases. That's what it's going to teach you how to do. It's going to up your game considerably. And how do I know that? Because we've trained over 650 companies over the last 27 years. Every company I've trained, their numbers have gone up. We have a perfect record in 27 years. And many of them by a bunch overnight. Because again, it's strategic, tactical training. It's not motivational mumbo jumbo. It's really important to understand that. You're going to learn the real deal.
And here's the deal. I've interviewed lots of loan officers. I've talked to managers, and they're like, if I could only get my loan officers to call these alerts. Well, a lot of reasons they don't is they haven't been well trained to do that, and they don't know exactly what to say. Well, guys, here it is. There is an entire chapter on how to make those calls confidently, so they will have the clarity and they will have the skills. In closing, got a couple little bonuses for me here. And then we have partnerships, which, by and large is real estate agents. But guys, here's another one. This one right here, adding value to your partners with Sales Boomerang, adding value to your partners with Mortgage Code Total Cost Analysis, and then testing your partner knowledge. Guys, those micro lessons and that chapter alone ROIs out the investment of time and money. And here's the deal, guys. The money is the cheap investment. $500 or less is easy. That is not a tremendous amount of money. The best gym in your marketplace might have a setup fee of that, might cost $100 a month. This is a one-time investment of $500, and you have this package, and you have that. I do want to get as many people to sign up for this and more importantly, go through the training, Dale. Is there anything else you want to call out on the platform that you just think would inspire loan officers to sign up and encourage managers to buy, groups of these, volume discounts or volume packages? Anything you want to say?
No, I mean, if I don't want to sound self-serving in this, but if I was a manager today, to me, it's absolutely critical that your people are trained for this marketplace. The old saying, you don't know what you don't know, is a true saying. And I hear a lot of loan officers. I train thousands every month, and I hear it from my clients. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. I go, great, but have your numbers ever been this low? No. So what that tells you is, even though you've been doing it for a long time, you got a lot of experience, something's not working right now. Something's got to shift. And you won't know what to shift because you're always doing it the same way. You've got to get outside perspective in order to gain true strength in a marketplace like this. And that's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you perspective from literally hundreds of thousands of other loan officers that I've trained that are going to show you the way to do it in this marketplace on how you can approach the market the right way. So I would just say, there's no better investment you can make than in yourselves, and making sure that you've got the knowledge for this marketplace. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. We've been doing this for a long, long time, and we've never had anybody who said to us, "Man, that was lousy training." We get nothing but, our ratings over 27 years on a 10-point scale are 9.8 on our training. That's crazy. And that's what we get with everybody we train. 9.7, 9.8, 9.9. That's where we're at all the time. It's that good of stuff because it's not based on what Dale Vermillion knows. It's based on what Dale Vermillion has had the great privilege to learn from so many I've worked with over my career. And you get the benefit of learning what the best of the best do.
So guys, I promise you, sign up for this, go to the link that we gave you. Here it is. There is an enroll now button. This thing is ready for market. This is ready for your loan officers. If you are a branch manager, this is ready for your branch. If you're a regional leader, this is ready for you. And it is something that can be consumed within a week, 3.5 hours. It can be consumed within a day. I do think you want to re-listen this. So I'm not one to push people to it's not how fast you can read a book. It's how much value can you create for yourself by reading a book. It's what did you stop doing and what did you start doing? But this is something in today's market where within a day, within a week, you can get value. And that's the other thing is while it will improve your lifetime value of your database and it will improve your referrals, this is loans now. Like this could be more loans next week, more conversion next week, more confidence next week. So please sign up today. We'll be launching this in the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. We'll be marketing this, promoting this over the coming weeks and months. For any of you loan officers that are the first to jump into this thing and do it, we're going to be looking for reviews. We want you to be giving us feedback. Let us know how this ranked. I'm not here to say this is the single best training that's ever been made in the mortgage industry. I would just tell you it's among the best training ever created in the mortgage business. And I can tell you right now, if I was a loan officer, this would be a must-do platform. So Dale, any other closing thoughts on today's call before we wrap it up?
Well, I think the last thing I want to say, based on what you just said, is really important is this. Because we created these as modules that are small bite-sized modules, the beauty of it is you're going to learn a technique or 3 or 4 strategies in each module that you can literally apply that day. That's the beauty of it. So this is not an investment that'll take you months or years to see return on. You literally will go through some of these modules and the next day you'll flip 4 or 5 deals you never flipped before. And all of a sudden have 5 new applications because you use the techniques we taught you. We see this with our clients all the time. Where loan officers go through, they learn how to convert a lead or an alert. All of a sudden they go, I never took that approach. All right, I'm going to try it. And bam, the first or second person they call, they're like, yeah, that sounds good. And they get an app, they get a deal. They're like, wow, that paid for itself in the first day. So that's what you can expect from this training because, again, it's strategic and it's practical. It's not motivational. It will motivate you. I don't want to sound like you're not going to be motivated. I think you will. But it is not designed to be that, hey, let's pump you up so you have a good attitude. It's designed to make you confident and better in your approach and refine your skills. And also to confirm the ones you're doing well and right so you keep doing those. So it really works for both experienced loan officers as well as brand new loan officers. All of you will benefit greatly from this. I promise you that. All
right, guys. Well, Jake and Michael, thank you to the entire Mortgage Champions team. You guys put something really spectacular together. Alex put a lot of time into this. The Mortgage Coach training team, gave feedback, so Dale and his team took our feedback, collaboratively created something that we think is very special. We're going to be promoting it to our community indefinitely, probably forever. But guys, this market, meet the market. This content was made for 2022. If we have any regret, it's that we didn't get it to you in June. We wanted to get this sooner, but this is when we got it to you. We met the market. Now it's your choice. Sign up and please share any success stories you have in the Mortgage Coach Facebook group. reach out to myself and Dale. We'd love to hear your success stories. I'm
Yep.
Dave, mortgagecoach.com. Guys, we're committed to your success. And I just believe that this is a market where, we all need to help each other more than ever. So Dale, any last words before we wrap it?
Well, kudos to Jake and Michael and David, who were just instrumental in putting this thing together, the guys on my team. And hey, thanks so much for the opportunity, for the partnership. Dave and Alex, love you guys, love what you do. And look, we just want to help the mortgage community to succeed in this marketplace. We want to see people thrive and not just survive. That's what the game's about, and change more borrowers' lives. It's all about, at the end of the day, helping our consumers and helping our communities to make a difference. That's why we do what we do. That's the end game. So appreciate this. Love you guys. And hey, God bless, and hope you guys love it.
All right. Give me a little knuckles to the whole team.
Boom.
All right,
You got
guys,
it, man.
you got value from this. Give it a like. Share this with your manager. Share this with every mortgage friend that you have that you want to help meet the market. This is a wrap. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.